On the shores of a lake, on a course known throughout the game, on the soil of continental Europe for the first time, the 22nd staging of the Arnold Palmer Cup takes place at the Evian Resort Golf Club in a scenic corner of France. The cream of college golfers from the rest of the world are here, intent on wresting the cup away from the holders, the USA, after their victory in Atlanta last year.
Very excited to be back with the Arnold Palmer Cup, and I've got a great group of guys, and our girls team's phenomenal. It's just fun to be able to be part of their week, and looking forward to an awesome week here at Evian.
It's probably as good as it gets. My 40th year coaching collegiate golf, and I get to coach the inaugural Arnold Palmer Cup matches as the world coach, the international coach. So tremendous honor.
Without exception, the Americans are relishing this trip to what is a beguiling destination.
It's gorgeous. It's my first time in Europe, and flying into Switzerland and then coming over here with most of the team, it's beautiful. Waking up, seeing the lake, and kind of making that drive by, and a few holes out here are beautiful. You get some great views, so I think everyone loves it, and it's really exciting to be out here.
And what a thrill to represent your country in an event that bears the name of one of the USA's most beloved sporting heroes.
It's been a dream come true. I mean, coming into this event, I knew that I was going to be able to compare my game to the top amateurs in the world, and it was a goal of mine, to make the team from the start of the year. And knowing that we're finally here and being able to compete is awesome, especially in a place like Evian. I mean, the course is beautiful, and the competition is top-notch, so I'm really excited.
This year's tournament is one of pioneering inclusivity, as for the first time, half the members of each team will be female.
I'm just really honored and really glad that I become a part of this, to meet a lot of people around the world, and so it's the USA team too. They're all great golfers, they're all amazing, and just to play with them, compete with them, it's just brings up my game and just make friendships, and it's a lot of factors add and combine.
Civility and camaraderie, things that always really mattered to the late Mr. Palmer, golf's ultimate ambassador.
It's an amazing event. Be part of the Arnold Palmer legacy is a huge honor for all of us college players, and it's great that it's the first time that women are in this tournament, and be part of a little bit of history is, it's just exciting, and I'm really looking forward to this event.
This is the venue for a ladies' major, the Evian Championship. As 2016 Rolex Girls Junior Player of the Year, Patty Tavanatakit earned an invitation to last year's Evian, and the UCLA Bruin is overjoyed to return.
I say this is the toughest course amongst the majors in the LPGA Tour, and it's just, I'm just really glad I'm back here trying to challenge my game again. It's a tough course, and it's just an ultimate test for your golf game, yeah.
The Thai is one of 48 players given the privilege of expanding their experience and reveling in the joy of team competition, as over 4 sessions, 3 days, and a total of 60 matches, the internationals face the USA for the Arnold Palmer Cup, brought to you by Rolex.
After all of the pomp and circumstance, it was time for the action to commence. Every member of both sides involved in 12 mixed fourballs.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2018 Arnold Palmer Cup. And representing Team US, Matthew Wolf from California.
The honour of striking the first tee shot went to Matthew Wolf, a freshman at Oklahoma State, the newly crowned NCAA champions. Diving into the wet rough that afterwards became even wetter, with persistent rain causing a frustrating 2-hour delay.
But thankfully, it partially dried up, and the partnership of Jennifer Kupko, the women's NCAA champion, and Wolf moved one up after 5 holes against Olivia Mahaffey and Wolf's Oklahoma State teammate from Norway, Victor Hovland. But the internationals won the 6th before Hovland manufactured an outrageous half at the 7th.
Oh, yes. Oh, whoa, whoa.
It would remain all square until this on the 9th. An eagle from Wolf as the USA again took the lead in the lead-off match.
The visitors were also prospering in match 2. Immediately into his stride, Chandler Phillips birdied the first. And when the tee shot of his partner Lilia Vu made certain of a birdie at the 5th, they were 3 up on Albain Valenzuela and the British amateur champion, Jovan Rebula. That would develop into 4 up at the halfway stage. But there was better news for the internationals in match 3, with Hurley Long and Patti Tavatanakit making the early running against Andrea Lee and Colin Morikawa. Long's birdie on the 2nd gave them the lead, and they were able to stay 1 up after Hurley also made this 2 to half the short par 3 8th.
Yes. I'm afraid, though, the midsummer murk wasn't lifting, but the shining lights of university golf brightened up the scene as the 2018 Arnold Palmer Cup got off to a keenly contested start on a day that was ideal for the local Ducks.
For the first time in the Arnold Palmer Cup, an international team supplies the opposition for the USA. They have no common flag, but instead a common goal: perform to the best of their abilities, and by doing so, endorse the event's new direction.
Nice shot. That's good. Yeah, I'm really loving it. Obviously, I played last year and kind of have an idea of what it was like. But it's a little different now with the girls, obviously, and the international players. It becomes just a bigger tournament, and it'll be more eyes on it, and it's just it becomes more wholesome. There's like a par 3 course, isn't it?
Yeah. I seen
Down
that.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only half of one.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I remember playing that when I was last year.
Yeah.
And I remember it was sweet.
We only met a couple days ago. I think a lot of the girls knew each other, but meeting the guys for the first time. But it's been fun and it's been nice to get to know people, and definitely I think we're having a good time.
Yeah, I think we're already going to be paired up. We'll see what happens, but it seems to be working pretty good. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Nice, Pat.
Thanks.
I'm loving it so far. Any week you get to play with the team, it's always fun. It's so beautiful here, and I think everyone's having a really great time. And it's definitely something that everyone wanted to play on. Everyone wanted to get the opportunity to play. So, getting selected and getting this opportunity is a really great and definitely a good feeling to be here.
4-iron, I think, from this tee.
Hovland is from Norway and Mahaffey from Northern Ireland, 2 of 18 nations that make up the international team. That truly cosmopolitan aspect of the tournament serves to enhance its quality, together with the inclusion of the college game's most talented women.
We've got the 12 best girls and men's in college from the U.S., and then the same for the international team. So I mean, the standard is really high, and there's going to be a lot of good golf this week.
Different nationalities from 4 continents linked by a single incentive: to triumph in the Arnold Palmer Cup.
Yes, history was in the making at the spectacular Evian Resort Golf Club, although in match 1, the USA doubled their advantage to 2 up on the strength of Matthew Wolf's birdie there at the 10th. In a tussle of the very highest quality, the Americans were 4 up on the 14th tee, but Victor Hovland wasn't about to succumb meekly. This would be converted for a hole-winning birdie, but he and Olivia Mahaffey were still 3 down, 3 to play after a half at the next.
Things were also going the way of the Americans in match 2. Lilia Vu's birdie on the 10th, propelling her and Chandler Phillips 5 up on Jovan Rebula and Albain Valenzuela. The tide was also turning towards the USA in match 3, as Colin Morikawa birdied the 11th to give he and Andrea Lee their first lead over Patti Tavatanakit and Hurley Long, the Thai-German pairing.
The Americans were well positioned to lead after day 1, maybe even build a substantial lead. But both teams understood the fickle nature of match play and the speed with which momentum often shifts. Even so, Phillips and Vu stood on the 14th tee 5 up, looking to post the first point of the Cup as quickly as possible.
Valenzuela from nearby Geneva, Switzerland, now appreciated that only a serious surge to the line could hold off a loss that seemed inevitable. Fighting to the finish, but huge advantage to America.
As it was ahead on the 16th, where Wolf and Kupcho were intent on shutting out Mahaffey and Hovland. Spin, Kupcho's friend. The USA on the verge of victory.
Rebula was responsible for many a highlight at the Amateur Championship, but escape in match 1 here was hard to imagine. Quite simply, to retain even a glimmer of hope, Valenzuela's birdie putt had to drop. It didn't, and the match would be conceded. They shook hands with Phillips and Vu, convincing winners by 6 and 4, having dovetailed almost perfectly.
I played really good. She did too. We kind of combined our good playing together and came out on top. We're all really good players out here, and it could go either way. It's just whoever's playing best that day, and I feel like me and her combined together, I mean, it was going to be tough to beat us today.
Over on 16, it could also be last knockings for Hovland and Mahaffey. No chip in, no great escape. Combining for an eagle and 8 birdies, Kupcho and Wolf proved too hot to handle. They beat Mahaffey and Hovland 4 and 2 as the USA claimed each of the first 2 points. With 10 4-balls still out there, the internationals had the ability to retaliate. But leading off, Kupcho and Wolf had set the tone, assisted by the elements.
I'd say the crucial point was, the rain delay. Before that, we only made 1 birdie, and we were all square, but we both weren't hitting it very good, and it wasn't really going our way. And after we come back out, I eagled 9, and then she birdied a couple holes, and we kind of just shot up like a lot. So that was really good.
Wolf's hunt best in packs. Last year, at Rich Harvest Farms in Illinois, Braden Thornberry rose to the pinnacle of college golf by winning the individual NCAA championship title.
I'd had a good college year the whole season. Obviously, you never expect to win something that big. It's kind of, it has to be your week, and you're going to have to be getting good breaks and stuff like that. And luckily, it just kind of, everything matched up at the right time, and I was able to play well. And I mean, to win that it's so cool, because when you're in college, that's the ultimate goal. And when you win that and, kind of get home after, it's a weird feeling, after you win something like that.
This junior at the University of Mississippi subsequently tied 4th in Memphis on the PGA Tour.
Every week has been very different learning. Depending on how you play, if you play well, you gain a lot of confidence, and if you don't play well, you find things to learn. And the biggest thing I think I've learned from it is that the golf game is no different. It's still golf. At the pro level, I think tournaments are a little bit deeper. You know, at the college level, there's, you know, maybe 5 to 10 guys in each tournament that really are the contenders. And at the pro level, you know, there's 156 usually. So, but good golf is good golf. If you play well, you're going to be at the top of the leaderboard no matter what you're playing.
One goal of the player atop the men's world amateur rankings is to emulate Mr. Palmer, both on and off the course.
Being younger, I didn't get to, you know, watch him play or anything, but mainly just from what people have said about him that did know him or knew of him. He's just such a great person for the game and really tried to do everything right, and that's really what it comes down to. You might not do everything right, but you can definitely try to. So.
Braden's also embraced the format here.
I think it's good for the sport to, you know, combine guys and girls a little bit, and I've gotten the chance to do it once before at Wyndham Cup, where we played with, you know, mixed, you know, 4 balls and alternate shot with a girl. I think it's really cool just because, you know, you play 25 events a year and, you know, it's all just stroke play with guys, so it's kind of cool to, you know, see a little bit different side of the game.
And he's confident of success.
It's not an unfamiliar team at all, and I know what everybody on the team can do, so hopefully if we play how we're supposed to, the U.S. will do what we're supposed to. Seeing what, you know, like the Curtis Cup girls did last time and kind of putting on a clinic and dominating it, that's obviously our goal, but just to win and, you know, represent the USA is just really awesome.
With Evian now bathed in sunshine, the Americans maintained their early mastery thanks to Andrea Lee's birdie on the 17th, completing a 2-1 win for her and Colin Morikawa over Hurley Long and Patty Tavatanakit.
On the 18th, an eagle for University of Alabama junior Davis Riley sealed his and Kristen Gilman's 2-up success at the expense of Harry Hall and Wenyoung Kei. And there was yet more American cheer when, having been 4 down at their lowest ebb, Lauren Stevenson and Braden Thornbury drew level with Andy Zhang and Maddie Surik. After that, on the 15th.
The internationals were desperate for a boost, and it arrived with Lorenzo Scalise and Jiwon Jeon, who closed with 4 consecutive birdies to beat Alana Uriel and Sahith Theegala 3-2.
The USA had marched into a useful lead, but at least the internationals now had something to build on, aided by a fine performance from an Italian and a Korean, not distracted by other disappointments.
You know, when we're out there, we're just focusing on our game, try to win the point for our team. No matter what happens outside, that's our #1 goal. It's our first match, and we're both rookies, so it was good to, you know, start with the right foot.
Thornbury and Stevenson remained all square against Surik and Zhang, playing the last, and following a mighty blow off the tee, Thornbury attacked. An American eagle, now a realistic possibility, after this par 5 was brought to its knees. Unable to judge the reaction with not quite so much certainty, firing from the left-hand rough, Zhang needed a stunning response. In the final match out, the standard was exceptional, as Alvaro Ortiz putted for eagle after almost driving the par 4 17th. The Mexican and fellow countrywoman Maria Fassi were 2 up on Sophia Schubert and Justin Suhr. From that distance, beautifully judged, but their 10th birdie of a round that's also seen an eagle not yet under lock and key.
Up on 18, it wasn't only Thornbury who had an eagle putt, so too did Surik. Still, it would be a birdie, and meanwhile would be a win over at 17 if Ortiz holds this. Ortiz and Fassi, despite being 2 down after 4, prevail 2-1.
I think it was a great win. We came from behind. It's always fun to come back and win, and it was amazing to do it next to Alvaro. I mean, we've been friends for a long time, teammates. both for Mexico and Arkansas. So I couldn't ask for a better partner to come up with this win today.
One more mixed 4-ball to be decided then, as Zhang put it for eagle on the 18th. A tad steamy and offline, leaving the stage to Thornbury. An eagle for him will secure the point. That's the kind of things world number ones tend to do. Thornbury and Stevenson win 1-up, rounding off a superb session, especially for the Arnold Palmer Cup holders. Remember, Thornbury and Stevenson were 4 down after 6, after Surik and Zhang began in barnstorming fashion.
It was very up and down. You know, we never were playing bad, but at the start, they just birdied like the first 5 on us, so we were down quick there. And but we were kind of able to stay patient and just know that if we played good golf, we'd come out on top at the end. So luckily, we were able to do that.
The day ended with the USA leading 8-4 and opposing captains with differing levels of satisfaction.
Our kids, performed really, really well. That's what we talked about last night, was just kind of executing golf shots, because the better we play, obviously, the better our odds go up of winning matches. And the guys and the girls out front just did a phenomenal job getting some momentum, and I thought that was huge for us.
The amount of matches that went to 17 and 18 was, I think, more than half went to 17 and 18. So this wasn't a runaway by any chance. There's 60 points available for the week. Only 12 have been played. So tomorrow we just start chipping away 1 shot at a time to try and break into that lead.
No dispute though, day 1 in France undoubtedly belonged to the USA.
A blossoming talent, that's a good way to describe a very promising South African golfer, still basking in the glow of winning the 123rd Amateur Championship at Royal Aberdeen last month. His name, Jovan Rebula. His mood, buoyant.
It's been a crazy week for me, and at the same time just had so much fun. The weather was a huge factor there. The weather was pretty bad and stuff like that, so there was a lot of mental grinding going on and things like that. But, being able for me, confidence-wise, is just big to be able to, pull off a win like that. It's been awesome so far, and for me, I've been working really hard these last couple of years and months and stuff. And obviously to be able to build yourself up to the British Amateur was one of my goals, and to be able to perform well there was huge on the confidence side for me.
Rebula, a sophomore at Auburn, received an invitation to the Open. He's set to debut at Augusta National next year, and he's able to tap a ready source of advice, his uncle, Ernie Els.
It's always fun to talk to a major winner, and him being so close to you too makes it so much easier, because you can just have a normal conversation about it, it's nothing formal or anything like that. Uncle Ernie he's a very laid-back and relaxed dude, so it's just so easy to just be around him and be with him and stuff like that, and I'm very thankful for him, and I got a ton of respect for him, and he's one of my heroes. He's been one of my heroes growing up and stuff like that. So, obviously to have someone who's that close to you, is really something special, and I guess I got lucky.
Winning the amateur is a gateway for Rebula to experience the sport's biggest occasions.
I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity, and it's something that I've worked hard for. I feel like I would have been in the same position at some point, later in my career, but for it to happen now, where I get to play in all of the majors is just really something special, and something that I couldn't have dreamed of.
We don't need to put any spin on this. The Arnold Palmer Cup is another unforgettable week.
I think it's unbelievable, we honestly don't get to, meet a lot of the gold players and stuff like that during the regular season back in college. So being able to mix up with the girls a little bit is something that's really cool, and I like the idea of that, and it's been really good, and we had a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun so far.
Rebula, an integral part of Team International, off first in the mixed foursomes that launch day 2.
From South Africa and Auburn University, Jovan Rebula.
With a swing tempo reminiscent of Uncle Ernie, Rebula partners Albain Valenzuela against the Americans, who were superb in the lead-off four balls on day one, Kupcho and Wolf. Again, everyone on both teams is incorporated in the foursomes, with many of the pairings from yesterday retained. That means in match 6, Fassi and Ortiz, scintillating in the four balls, will hope to repeat their Mexican magic. It's vital for the internationals to rally, and although they were 2 up in the lead-off contest, Kupcho birdied the 7th to cut the Americans' deficit in half.
International team is 1 up.
3 holes later, though, they ran into trouble. Wolf couldn't salvage an unlikely par, meaning Rebula and Valenzuela were 2 up again.
In match 7, which began on the 10th, Lauren Stevenson and Braden Thornbury are again in each other's company and led for the bulk of the front 9. Nice indeed, but a par save from the internationals on the first, with Scalise's short game key, well, that was enough to win the hole and push the internationals to 1 up. There's the shot in question.
Match 3 was also a showcase for international resistance. Hurley Long, a senior at Texas Tech, helping on 9 as he and Patty Devatanakit edged 1 up on Chandler Phillips and Lilia Vu. Also 1 up in this instance through 8 after a birdie set up by this approach were Stefano Mazzoli and Dewey Weber against Andrea Lee and Colin Morikawa.
Nothing had yet been remotely secured, but there was no confusion. The green shoots of recovery for the internationals were right there. More from the Evian Resort Golf Club and the mixed foursomes in the Arnold Palmer Cup heading your way after these. Since its inaugural year in 1997, the Arnold Palmer Cup has brought together premier amateur golfers, many of whom have achieved great success at the sport's highest level.
The Palmer Cup was a really special team event. I think in the game of golf, which is so individual, we've talked about it a lot, to have that team environment, to share that experience with other players. I played 2 Palmer Cups, one in America, one back in Britain at Hoylake. I know we played in Boltonsville in the States, and I think we got beat pretty bad, but no, great experiences and great memories.
You know, I was lucky enough to win the team twice. First time in Europe in Walton Heath, which was probably one of the most fun I've ever had in a tournament. The great thing is that you're not only representing the legacy of Arnold Palmer, you're not only playing for Arnold Palmer, and you're not only playing in the name of Arnold Palmer in Europe, it's also the closest thing in an amateur level you're gonna get to what a Ryder-Cup could be.
That was so much fun because there's so many guys there on that team that play out here today. I think I looked at the picture the other day, and I think we're like, you know, almost all of us had been on the European tour or still on the European tour. So I mean, stuff like that is fun to see. And then obviously at such a great place as Polly Bunyan, and you get to be a team, and it felt quite big, you know.
I've got some great memories. Obviously I knew most of the guys on the European team, and I just remember a fun week. Obviously team format is something we don't experience too often, so yeah, it was great. We played in Ballybunion, and it was super windy, and it was great fun. We managed to win at the end of the week, which was great. Just, you know, great camaraderie and just having fun with a nice group of friends.
Yeah, it's great because I mean you play against the top college talent, you know, that we play against, that you see their names but don't get to compete against every week in the collegiate circuit. So it's one of those things. It feels like it's the pinnacle of golf at that age group, and you feel like if you can compete with the guys there, that you'll be able to be ready to turn pro.
What talent the Arnold Palmer Cup has helped to nurture. And another potential star of the future is Braden Thornbury, who together with Lauren Stevenson birdied their 13th to draw level with Jiwon Jian and Lorenzo Scalise in their mixed foursomes.
Then on the next green, Stevenson was poised to strike. The USA pairing go one up, and that's where they remain, playing their 18th. But in the first match out, in partnership with Olbain Valenzuela, the recently crowned amateur champion is displaying the form that saw him triumph on Scotland's northeast coast. With a birdie on the 15th, Rebula and Valenzuela move 3 up on Jennifer Kupcho and Matthew Wolff.
And there's more encouragement for the internationals in match 8, as Stefano Mazzoli and Dewey Webber birdied their 13th to edge in front of Andrea Lee and Colin Morikawa. Another indication may be that we're witnessing the germination of a comeback by the international team, a comeback that Thornberry and Stevenson will desperately want to dampen.
Now, from an awkward lie, spot and stance, Thornberry's third, the par 5 closer, needs a soft touch. Just perfect. And as the spotlight swings to Scalise, who now knows an up and down from below the green is going to be the minimum requirement.
Very much advantage USA there, but not so in match 1, with Wolff coming up the slope on the 16th green for what's surely a must-make birdie. The slumped shoulders signify that Rebula and Valenzuela will prevail with a par 3, although Rebula is bunkered. Place a South African in sand and great things happen. What a way to sign off 4-2 victors.
Me and Albin had so much fun out there today, you know. We had a good game plan, you know, and I think we had a good vibe going on the golf course today, you know. We were just enjoying every moment of it, you know, and enjoying the whole experience of the Arnold Palmer Cup. To be able to bring a point to the international team is a huge honour, you know, and, you know, we're just really enjoying it a lot.
Now back to Gion, putting for birdie that is a must-make. What a demonstration of nerve from Gion, but it'll be to no avail if Stevenson follows suit. She's putting uphill from short range for a one-up win. Well, despite the tension, surprisingly, the spoils are shared after a tight match in which neither pairing established more than a one-hole lead at any stage.
The internationals have cut their deficit to 3 points, and the USA have suffered a setback as Gion and Scalise retain their unbeaten record.
I was a little nervous, but I thought we have a chance to have the match, so I just focus on each shot and I just trust my partner Lorenzo, and then we did it.
Another lion-hearted lady golfer from Korea. In any sport, success is underpinned by sacrifice. A prime example is Andy Zhang, who left his native Beijing as a child to pursue a dream.
At 10 years old, I qualified for a tournament or 2 tournaments in America, and I came over and I happened to win one of them at the US Kids World Championship, so we decided to stay. It was pretty tough for my mom early on because it was just my mom and I who moved over, leaving my sister and dad behind in China. And they would come back and forth, but the majority of the time it was just my mom and I. The biggest change was, you know, for my mother, it was probably the whole environment. We didn't have any friends here. She didn't really speak English. I learned fairly quick within the next year and a half, but for her it was very difficult.
In 2012, at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, Zhang became the youngest player in US Open history.
Having success at a young age, like 14 playing the US Open, it was really good, but also it was a very good learning experience. I didn't truly understand what it really meant at the time. I was fascinated by all the media attention and being in the locker room with all the players that I watched growing up. I was fascinated by all that, but now looking back, it was once in a lifetime experience, and it's a truly rare opportunity for a kid like that, and I'm truly grateful for the opportunity.
Mr. Palmer's reach was worldwide. He was immensely popular in Asia, and Zhang understands what the king continues to stand for.
We can truly feel his presence here, even he's not physically with us. Just his name, it means a lot to golf, the game itself. To be able to win it, you know, for the international team, it will be truly amazing. We have a very diverse and strong team. You know, we got people playing all over the world, and they've seen courses all over the world, and we have a lot of experiences. Playing in France requires, I think, some of that, and I think being here, we have a little bit of an advantage, yes.
Eloquence from Zhang, and at the Evian Resort Golf Club, excellence call for from Lilia Vu with her 3rd to the 18th. Birdie nailed down for Vu and Chandler Phillips, leaving Hurley Long a twitchy little tester to claim half a point. Nerve ends frayed. Never in doubt, though, the internationals yet to lose a mixed foursomes.
And in a match finishing on the 9th, Dewey Webber had a short putt for their revival to gather strength. Webber and Mazzoli shade Lee and Morikawa 1 up. Also on the 9th, having just birdied the previous hole to draw level, Ronan Milani strikes one of the best shots of the event as he and Chloe Ryan dramatically beat Friedman and Thigala with a birdie from the gods. His partner was awestruck.
Probably the best shot I've ever seen out of the bunker, to be honest. 177 yards into 5 feet. Incredible, and really enjoyed playing with Ronan today. So happy to hold that putt at the end to make it count. I was really tight until the very end, and just happy to come out on top.
And how about this from Costa Rica's Luis Gagne, a junior at LSU, wrapping up his and Ainhoa Alara's 2-up victory over Kristen Gilman and Davis Riley.
After yesterday, we were, I think, 4 points behind. So, you know, we just need to slowly keep chipping away at it, and hopefully at the end we're on top.
The internationals on a concerted roll, and thanks to 3 birdies on what proved the closing 6 holes, Harry Hall and Wen Young Kei pulled away to score a 3-1 win over Zach Boshu and Sophia Schubert. The internationals' closest ally at lunch on day 2 was momentum, as they slashed America's lead to a single point, with Hall and Kay their latest contributors.
I'm happy the way we played today. We really fought back, and I think it was a huge one today.
The European side in the past in the Ryder-Cup have been great at foursomes, and hopefully the internationals can show that with the team chemistry this morning. So I think we need to catch up on a lead that they took yesterday, and I think, you know, by lunchtime hopefully that'll be close.
Practice makes perfect.
There are 24 pioneers at this year's Arnold Palmer Cup. And those women golfers newly introduced to the competition provide an infusion of talent and could hardly be more enthusiastic.
This is the first time in history that women get to be a part of this event, and I couldn't be more than honored and excited to be the first of these other girls here. And we're just stoked to be in Evian, France, and the course is in beautiful shape, and we've been, surrounded by amazing people who've been hosting this event, so it's pretty special.
There's really not words to explain how lucky we are to be here and to just honor his legacy and just play for the love of the game. So, I mean, it's really exciting to be in the first event that has women. I'm just gonna have fun, enjoy it, and make it the best.
Their far-sighted inclusion is indicative of a pleasing theme, that doors are being opened throughout the sport.
I think there's been so much, put into women's golf lately with the Augusta Women's Amateur also next year, and I think this has been a lot of great decisions for women's golf, and I think it means a lot. It's, for the first time we're finally put on the same stage as men, and it's very exciting, and it's only good for women's golf.
The collective sense of pride is personified by a New Zealander who is a junior at the University of Washington, Wen-Young Kei.
Being coach's pick and taking that last spot, it's really my honor, and to be with amazing golfers out here this week is just really a privilege, and I've got to take that opportunity and learn from it as well. It's good to bring the New Zealand flag here representing the international team this week.
Arnold Palmer's college days were spent at a school in North Carolina, which is represented here.
Arnold Palmer has a great impact on everyone, but being that I do go to Wake Forest, he's just an incredible guy, someone that every single golfer and people who aren't golfers, they want to be like him. They know, who he was as a person, and it makes the tournament even more spectacular that it's under his name.
How proud Arnie would have been.
Fired up by their performance in the morning foursomes, the internationals were gunning for more gains in the afternoon four balls, and Scalise and Mazzoli picked up the thread. Having teed off on the 10th, Scalise birdied the 16th for 2-up on Wolf and Thornbury, which became 4-up when Mazzoli conquered the 18th. The eagle landed, the Italians were flying, and they remained 4-up with 5 to play.
The Americans were crying out for renewed inspiration. Step forward, Cupcho and Vu. Through 14, after 3 straight birdies, they were 3-up on Ryan and Gian.
Likewise, it was going smoothly for Galdiano and Lee, never headed, and through 12, 2-up on Surik and Mahaffey. Lee's tee shot on the 8th, a particular peach. You have to wonder, is the pendulum shifting stateside again? The afternoon four balls could well hold the key to the destination of the Arnold Palmer Cup, which remains on a knife edge. As for Mazzoli, he and Scalise are looking to turn the screw on the 5th, their 14th, after so far combining for an eagle and 7 birdies. Following that, birdie number 8 could be imminent.
We've already seen Cupcho hold a tramliner on the 14th, surely not again at the next. All in all, a good putt, but lightning doesn't strike twice, offering a ray of hope for Ryan and Gian. First, though, back to the 5th and Wolf's response to the Italians. Already 4 down, and with the opposition snug, that wasn't recommended. 3 down at the 15th, Gian is relying on short game wizardry. The contact, the pace, the line, all calculated for an eagle. Gian and Ryan now 2 down.
But Wolf's chip on the 5th is far more demanding. That's the kind of bolt from the blue that so endeared Mr. Palmer to millions. A graphic illustration of the vagaries of match play. And suddenly, Mazzoli must hole his putt, not to win the match, but to halve the hole. Given what had gone before, bravo Stefano. He and Scalise go to the next with a stranglehold on the contest. 4 up, 4 to play. Just as they did in the mixed 4-balls on day 1, the USA are having a much more productive session, but the Italians have been almost invincible. 10 under through 14 holes.
At the top of the Women's World Amateur Rankings, an All-American and standout performer at UCLA near her home in Fountain Valley, California, Lilia Vu's interest in golf was spurred by sibling rivalry.
My brother and my dad started golf 2 years before I did. I would just come and I would watch them practice, and then I would just try swinging, copying my brother, and then I grabbed his club and I hit, and I was better than him.
Demonstrating a natural aptitude for the game, Vu's talent was soon clear.
Somebody came up to my mom and was like, you should enroll her in this tournament, the SCPGA tournament. And they did because they saw potential in me, I guess. And then that's where I started. I started playing SCPGA tournaments. So I won Junior World 4 times. Then I started playing AJGA and then committed to UCLA, and then now I'm here.
Vu is one of 7 members of the American team that dominated the recent Curtis Cup to also make the trip to the Arnold Palmer Cup.
It means so much. It's really an honor to be here, the first girl, women's to be here with the guys. It's just so amazing. The guys are so good and the girls are so good. So I think we're gonna have a really good match. The course is so nice. I've never played a course like this where it's super narrow, the rough is thick, and the greens are super intense. I think the team's really strong. International team's pretty stacked too, so we can't just not do, just chill around. So we have to be really aggressive this week.
Soaring, that's the game of Vu, who has a birdie putt on the 16th for her and Kupcho to win the lead-off match against Gion and Ryan. Just ran out of pace, took the break, and now they're all taking a stroll to the 17th tee.
Polish half, United States, Team Dormy.
Joining forces with Colin Morikawa, Shintaro Ban puts for birdie on their 14th. That's 3 birdies in a row for the Americans. 2 up against Zhang and Gagne.
In match 3, Sirik is stubborn. Birdie, a hole retrieved, but Gaudiano and Lee are 2 up with 4 to play.
The internationals, Weber and Valenzuela, were in front until the 12th, but the Americans birdied the 13th and it's ditto on the 14th, thanks to Schubert. She and Stevenson ahead for the first time. There really is an abundance of American red featuring on the scoreboard. But with only one exception, the outcome of every contest is a matter of debate. 4 down, 4 to play in company with Wolf. It's last chance saloon for Thornbury, with a hanging lie in the rough to the left of their 15th. Control compromised, of course, but the contours coming to his assistance. Thornbury fighting to the finish. A birdie for sure.
Up on the 17th, Gion and Ryan are 2 down to Kupcho and Vu, and Gion has found a steep greenside trap. Nicely extricated, but if Vu escapes with a par from that same bunker, the USA will win.
Counterbalancing that, Matsoli's hoping to round off he and Scalise's victory on their 15th. They are 3 up, so halving the hole will suffice. But remember, Thornbury is in tight. This hole location obviously accessible, but that was still top-notch.
Back on the penultimate hole, Vu's 3rd. More of a splash and run, that one, an examination of her putting to come.
Yes, precisely as it is for Matsoli, targeting a birdie and a point to carry the internationals back onto level terms overall. For now, the internationals achieve parity. Matsoli and Scalise beat Thornbury and Wolf 4 and 3.
Steph birdied 11, and then I got on a good run, 15, 16, 17, and kind of took care of that part of the round. And then as soon as the back nine started, he took care of that part of the round, so that kind of worked out really well for us.
Almost immediately, though, Team USA could be back in front. On 17, Vu for victory. No alarms, no mistake. The USA's lead is so very quickly restored at 13.5, 12.5.
And running down the order, the Americans lead in 8 of the 10 matches yet to be decided. That as Vu and Kupcho celebrate getting the better of Jian and Ryan, 2 and 1.
Dylan Kim from the University of Arkansas and Brad Dolke, an Oklahoma Sooner, epitomizing another byproduct of the Arnold Palmer Cup, the opportunity to forge new friendships.
We got a bunch of the guys I know that I play golf with all the time in the summer. They're here, and they're my teammates, and I'm playing against some of them. And it's just fun. It's just, it's just nice to be able to see, friends that and be able to play golf with them in a beautiful place. And I remember, just seeing Lake Geneva and, all the views here. It's such a really just a gorgeous place. And, the course it's short, but it tests your game. You got to hit it straight. And, representing the United States, I've been lucky enough to be able to do it a couple times before. And, it's always just a huge honor to be able to represent your country and wear the flag on your shirt. And, it's going to be a fun week.
French, I'm hopeless. Like, I don't even know anything. Yeah. No. There is nothing embarrassing in golf.
Fresh perspectives on the game and invaluable experiences are 2 benefits of being here.
I'm very grateful that they allowed us to be a part of this event because it's a really cool event, and I was even more thrilled when I found out I made the team because it is so difficult. There's only 12 girls that make it, and I'm sure all of them or most of them were All-Americans this year, and that's always a really hard award to achieve, and so I know that we're all really proud of the way we played in our college seasons.
That's a message echoed by 48 diverse voices. Both Dolke and Kim are keen to enjoy every moment of the journey, even in practice.
I'm excited. I'm so glad and happy that we get to share the experience of this week together. And it should just be really fun. We both want to beat each other. It should just be a really, really good time.
I know the Americans have a great team, and there's a few of the international guys I don't know, but obviously I'm sure they're really good. And we got 2 really good teams in the international and USA teams, boys and girls, and it's a high standard. I think you'll see some good golf out here if you come out and watch. And I think I want to win this thing really bad. These team competitions, they can get a little rowdy sometimes, and I want to win it.
The obvious team spirit in both camps is a genuine bond, and with the second day 4 balls drawing to a crucial conclusion, that support system is priceless. Lee and Galdiano were 3 up in the second match, But with Mahaffey grinding away, she and Surik are now only one down, a couple of holes to play.
And on their 16th, there's also international resilience on display from Luis Gagne. That birdie keeping he and Zhang alive against Morikawa and Ban, albeit 2 down, 2 to play.
Overall, the picture is rosy for the USA to carry a healthy, maybe substantial cushion into the final day singles. The internationals must batten down the hatches and fight for everything.
On that score, squeezing something from match 2 would be an immeasurable boost as the Canadian Sirik attempts to coax her approach onto the 17th green. And how she'd love to convert that.
Likewise, on their 17th, the 8th, Shintaro Ban, a senior at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, knows a chip and putt might be enough to slam the door on Gagne and Zhang. How sweet it would be for the internationals if Gagne could defy the odds and ram in a cross-green putt for a hole-clinching birdie. Instead, Ban will putt for the win.
First, though, over to 17 and Maria Galdiano trying to save par. Almost to something better. Par secured, though, as across the course, Ban looks to seal victory. Ban and Morikawa beat Gagne and Zhang 2-1.
I've known Shin for a while now, and we really were looking forward to this. This was something that, you know, if we made the team, we knew we were going to do this. And we just got hot for about 5-6 holes and kind of separated ourselves and had to hold on. But, you know, Shin made a great putt the last hole, and that's what it takes.
A great putt is what's required from Sirik. And she converts. Now all square playing the last after being 3 down walking off the 13th green.
The Americans are still generally holding sway, but an unlikely win for Mahaffey and Surik, that would surely put a spring back in the step of the internationals.
Until this year, the Arnold Palmer Cup pitted Europe against the USA. Now, though, any nationality has a pathway to compete, a source of pride for 2 Arkansas Razorbacks in particular.
There's nothing that I enjoy more than playing for Mexico, and now we get the opportunity to play not just for Mexico but for the whole world. So that's pretty fun. I'm really excited, and the team's really fun. We've all gone along really good, and the guys and the girls were just having a blast out here. So I think it's going to be a really exciting week.
I couldn't ask for a better thing to close my amateur career. And I mean, just to being able to put a Mexican flag up there with Maria, that's awesome. And I mean, I just couldn't be happier.
Fassi is a confirmed fan of the way this event is set up and would like to see more mixed events throughout the game.
I think this is going to be a really good stepping stone for the future golf, especially for women's golf. And I mean, maybe in the future we will have a professional tournament that involves this format because of how well I think this one's going to go. So it's really exciting to be a part of something this big.
Mentored by Lorena Ochoa, Fassi helped deliver Arkansas's first SEC championship. Ortiz was runner-up in this year's Latin America Amateur Championship. Prospects for Mexican golf are bright.
We've seen some growth in the last couple of years. A couple of good players are coming out. They're reaching the P Tour and the Web.com and the LPGA. And I mean, it's just awesome to see that our generation is, you know, the ones that probably are creating the stepping stones for the other kids.
Even though we're not a big golfing nation, our federation still tries to spread golf around the country, and They do a whole bunch of stuff so that we can have different opportunities to play in the US and to play tournaments in Europe and just to know a little bit of what golf's all about.
And now Fassi and Ortiz have delighted in joining forces here.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and that Mexican spark's gonna come out, and that like how passionate we are about things. And I think it's gonna be a really fun match tomorrow, and hopefully we play again together on Saturday, and it's just gonna be, I think, really fun to watch as well.
A pairing founded on a close relationship and national pride. Today, though, Fassi and Spain's Olara are toiling against Gilman and Papp. And on the 16th, Kim and Migliaccio are one up, looking to add another point to the Americans' tally. And what a way to do it! Kim and Migliaccio now 2 up on Panthong and Boonchant.
But there's American despondency on the 15th. The fate of Uriel and Friedman is sealed by that miss. They lose 5 and 3 to Kay and to Vatanikit. All of that means this. The USA now lead 16.5 to 14.5, but the internationals bag a big point thanks to a couple of firm friends united.
We're like besties on the team, and it's been unreal. We had so much fun out there, and I think that's the main key for us.
The scoring is really tight right now, so every point counts, and I'm glad that we were able to put one up for us.
From a pair of smiling internationals to Zurich, game face still firmly in place. Hoping to further lighten her team's mood on the 18th with one last thrust. And the opportunity for an extraordinary comeback knocks.
Back on the par 5 7th, his 16th, Phillips with a tricky third from unpredictable rough, with he and Boshu 2 up. Let me tell you, anyone in world golf would have been more than satisfied with that. Simply superb.
Now, with her teammates around the 18th green, Zurich for a winning eagle. Sadly, that was nothing remotely like the putt she would have wished for.
Back to their 16th, Rabula must now hole his birdie putt to keep going. You see, with Phillips in gimme range, that's that. Phillips and Boshu, 2 down early, prevail 3 and 2.
7 is won by United States. United States wins the match by 3 and 2.
And returning to the drama on 18, Zurich now for birdie. Yeah, terrific play from the Canadian, leaving Maria Galdiano needing to match that to salvage half a point. And that's after the Americans were in seemingly full command 5 holes ago. What an extraordinary turn in fortune. Zurich and Mahaffey somehow beat Galdiano and Lee 1 up. Remember, from 3 down with 5 to play.
Undoubtedly a sore loss for the Americans, but they remain in pole position, 4 points ahead, and on the 18th green, shortly after Zurich's heroics, Emilia Migliaccio had a putt to record a 1-up victory. Raw emotion as Migliaccio and Kim edge Panthong and Boonchant by the narrowest of margins. As they were after sessions 1 and 2, the USA lead, this time going into the singles, after again demonstrating their liking for the 4-ball format.
I was really proud the way they battled back this afternoon, and it was a little bit up and down at the beginning this afternoon as well, so to pull out a few points at the end, I think was really good.
I think the big focus needs to be tomorrow, just focus on your match, get your point. If you do that, you know, you take care of business, and if we have
enough people do that, we'll be in the right side of the coin tomorrow.
When high standard and drama coexist, there's nothing better than match play. Now, Evian eagerly awaits the singles.
When the decisive day dawned at Evian and final preparations were complete, every player now knew they were on their own. It was time for the traditional singles, with which every international contest closes.
Good morning, welcome to the third and final day of the 2018 Arnold Palmer Cup. Representing Team US from Tennessee and University of Texas, Sophia Schubert.
What promised to be a fascinating final session began with Schubert trying to quell inevitable first tee nerves. And that would nestle down in the rough as the lead-off match against Maria Fassi got underway.
Given the USA's 5-point overnight lead, the internationals needed a fast start, and with every player on both teams involved in a total of 24 singles, 2-tee start, the opportunity for a fight back clearly existed. Maybe the entire 3 days would swing on the outcome of the last match out. Dylan Kim against Anoa Alara.
The overriding task of Schubert was to create a favourable first impression, set the tone, and with a fighting par on the first, she did just that. Meanwhile, Fassi bogeyed, and where Schubert followed up with a birdie on the second, the American was now 2 up.
But in match 2, off the 10th tee, Victor Hovland enjoyed the better opening against Brad Dalke. A birdie on the 11th, edging the Norwegian ahead.
Also starting out on the back nine, Jamie Friedman enjoyed a confidence-boosting start to her singles against Olivia Mahaffey. With what would be a birdie on the first, Friedman was immediately 1 up.
And in match 3, pitted against Chandler Phillips, Lorenzo Scalise was off to a similar flyer. It was all serene down on the lake, but intense at the Evian Resort Golf Club, with early singles play suggesting the USA were holding their own, keeping the internationals at bay. There is one result already. Due to illness, I'm afraid, Dewey Weber has been forced to forfeit her match against Jennifer Kupcho. 1 up after 2, 1 down after 4, Hovland was looking to regain the lead against Dalke at the 15th, their 6th. Exhibiting why he's so highly rated.
Meanwhile, having lost her lead against Mahaffey, Friedman dug deep to par the 14th, her 5th, and remain all square. And we've already seen the quality of Victor Hovland's approach to the par 5 15th, but how would Dalke respond? Side hill lie, crisp contact, and this would roll into the gathering bowl. Now, it's all about the flat stick.
Meanwhile, over on the other side of the course at the short 5th, Scalise's now all square with Phillips, trying to edge in front again. That Lorenzo will do the trick. Back to the 15th, and Dalke's eagle attempt. Always just a tad low, leaving the door ajar for Hovland. reliable, solid. The Norwegian one up again.
International team wins the hole with a 3. And now international team is 1 up.
Now, from the elevated tee on the 14th, his 5th, Andy Zhang's trying to keep the pressure on Sahith Theegala. Already 2 up and using the contours to his advantage, Zhang's in position to stretch that lead. It's not looking so promising for the internationals in match 7, but with a birdie on the 5th, Stefano Mazzoli, the 2015 European Amateur Champion from Italy, claws back to 2 down against Colin Morikawa. What a shot. As for Zhang, he would have this for 3 up. And now very much in the driver's seat.
Undoubtedly a source of encouragement for the internationals, leading now in 6 matches, all square in 2 others. Surik, heroine of the 4 balls yesterday, and Gagne off to a particularly sharp start early. You have to say, at the Evian Resort Golf Club, the Arnold Palmer Cup remains very much up for grabs. Midsummer on the lake, and singles day at the Arnold Palmer Cup is now in full swing.
It's vital for the internationals to make inroads, and with a birdie on the 2nd, her 11th, Olivia Mahaffey goes 3 up on Jamie Friedman.
Possessing an even firmer grip from the opposing side is Colin Morikawa, and with the birdie that results from this outstanding tee shot on the 8th, the junior at the University of California, Berkeley, vaults 4 up against Stefano Mazzoli.
There's also an American runaway in match 8 with Andrea Lee 5 up, 7 to play against Jiwon Jeon. A par on the 2nd, their 11th, sufficient for Lee to win that hole, but the first match out was all square after Maria Fassi's birdie there on 13.
Then though, Schubert birdied the 15th to regain the lead, and although the internationals are generally doing well in the early matches, the pendulum's not yet swung violently away from the USA, who remain on course to be the first visiting team to prevail since 2010.
Four up, helped by a sequence of 3 consecutive birdies from the turn, Mahaffey safely finds the 5th green. And thanks to that, victory over Friedman is beckoning. Just as it is for Andrea Lee over Jiwon Jeon. A par on the 4th, their 13th. Should get the job done for Lee right here. Meanwhile, up on the 5th green, though, it's the internationals in the ascendancy, and Mahaffey has a putt to secure the point. No grandstand finish, but to extend the contest, Friedman must chip in for par. Olivia is almost there. The miracle isn't forthcoming, but the concession is. Mahaffey beats Friedman 5-4. Mission accomplished.
It feels good. I mean, anytime you're going out near the top, you know, your job is to get the first point on the board as soon as possible. So, you know, it was nice to get the point on the board early and go out and support the rest now and hopefully send some good vibes back to them.
Good stuff, but Olivia's contribution is about to be balanced out by Lee, who by getting up and down for a par on their 13th might well complete victory over Jean. Likewise playing his 13th, Colin Morikawa was in total command against Mazzoli, just off the green of the par 5 in 2. more than likely a birdie. And with Matsoli not ideally placed. Ooh, stubborn qualities, but you can't escape the feeling it's just too little, too late.
As for Gion, this is simply a must-make. Not to be, and Andrea Lee romps home 7 and 5.
It feels really good. I don't really know where we stand right now. I think I'm going to go out there and support my teammates from here on out. But I played really well. I mean, it's an honor to be able to play in this event, and I wasn't able to put a point on the board yesterday in either matches. So to come out here and win my singles match is special. Yeah.
From one comfortable American point recorded to another that's about to be clinched. Colin Morikawa beats Stefano Matsoli 6 and 5.
From the first hole, I felt really good. You know, I took advantage of some birdie putts and was just able to get some putts to drop, and that's what it takes, you know, to beat someone. But, you know, Stefano's a great player, and I know he put up a challenge, and today I just played really well.
The USA's overall lead has swelled to 7 points, and Uncle Sam's golfers hold sway in the first 3 singles matches, all of which are yet to be finalised. The Arnold Palmer Cup is swinging towards the great man's home country. More from the Evian Resort Golf Club, where the visitors are flying high, in just a moment. Evian Resort Golf Club, the very definition of scenic. But in the Arnold Palmer Cup, it's looking increasingly bleak for the internationals.
Thailand's Patti Tavatanakit was 2 up on Caitlin Papp at the turn, fell 1 down, but with an eagle at the 15th, the freshman at UCLA returns to all square in very impressive fashion. But in the first match out, Schuber had 2 putts to edge Fassi 2 and 1. Match conceded, the gap between the 2 sides grows ever wider.
Indeed it does, Cora. There's a sea of red on the leaderboard. The USA in control. The internationals heading, it seems, towards defeat. The USA lead 24.5, 16.5, after Schubert did her job with aplomb.
I had a great day today. I mean, I knew going into it playing Maria it was going to be a tough match. She's a great player. And so I just tried to stay patient all day and make pars, make a few birdies, and I was able to get it done that way.
Every point is now of vital importance for the internationals, and in match 3, Lorenzo Scalisi's playing the last, trying to protect his 1-up lead over Chandler Phillips.
And struggling, which means Phillips could yet salvage a half, but that's unlikely for Victor Hovland on the 9th, his closing hole against Brad Dahlke. Something special is required in light of already being 1 down. And I'm afraid that won't do the job.
Back to the 18th, where Phillips knows a birdie should yield a share of the spoils. Phillips impressively coming through in the clutch, and that's the aim of Dahlke from the University of Oklahoma, from sand on his final hole. An up and down will probably suffice. Again, to the 18th, Scalisi with the short stick from the fringe for birdie. You can't second-guess the decision to be aggressive, although it's now that dreaded phrase, "you're still away." To win, he must make, and hope Phillips doesn't. steely from Scalise. But now the result rests in the hands of the junior from Texas A&M. The golfing Aggie measures up, match halved, one more disappointment for the internationals. And over on the 9th green, another seems imminent. Hovland has to sink this. Instead, Dalkey prevails, 2 up.
I played really well, especially on our front 9, the first 9 we played. I think I was 5 under and Victor was 4 under through 9 holes and we were tied. So it was a really good match that, we hit a lot of good shots and had a lot of birdies. And, I knew it was going to be a grudge match. He's a great player and I've been playing pretty well, so it was fun though.
Also down to the wire, match 5, where Caitlin Papp, 2 down through 11, guarantees at least half a point with that gutsy effort. It meant that Tavat Anakit needs a matching birdie for a half. The drama, the excellence, and the sporting spirit of the Arnold Palmer Cup are on display right there. So the USA lead by 9 and need just 4 more points to record the first victory by a visiting side since 2010. And with the Americans holding a lead in 5 of the later matches and all square in 4 others, prospects don't look good for the internationals. The Arnold Palmer Cup looks set to head back across the pond.
The famed hands of the king clasping the Arnold Palmer Cup, destined, it seems, for American hands. But the internationals won't stop fighting. That's certainly the case with Andy Zhang, even though this refused to drop.
Could Alana Uriel have the distinction of supplying the clinching point? Maybe so, because the senior at the University of Arkansas birdied the 15th to move 1 up on Pimnipa Panthong. Or maybe it'll be Lilia Vu trying to stave off Maddie Sirik, who gamely birdied the 15th in recovering to 2 down. Even so, she's 2 down with 3 to play.
Surely a USA victory is now a matter of when, not if, with a race ensuing to see which member of the team renders victory a mathematical certainty. The Americans have to secure 4 more points to win for the 12th time in 22 stagings of the Cup, with another match tied.
After the 16th was halved with pars, Sirik finds herself 2 down against Vu with 2 holes to play. The Canadian now trying her utmost to avoid defeat.
What a scalp Braden Thornbury would have been for Frederick Nealon, but the form book seems set to hold. Always ahead, with the exception of a half at the first, Thornbury's 2 up and finds the green of the par 5 15th in 2 with consummate ease. Given his record so far, given his display here, Thornbury really is one to watch.
And a couple of holes ahead on the 17th, Vu's intent on slamming the door as swiftly as possible. And if that birdie putt finds the target, Vu's victory will be confirmed.
First, though, unfinished business on the 15th. World Amateur number 1 Thornbury knows an eagle would put him 3 up. Oh yes, 3 to play. That's why Thornbury is stationed at the apex of those rankings.
United States wins the whole with a free. United States is now.
Let's switch quickly back to the 17th green and Vu to triumph. What a putt! It's Vu for victory, 3-1.
I mean, today definitely was a grind. She's a really good player. She chipped in on the first hole and then gave me a run for my money on the past couple holes, so I had to put the pedal down and make birdie on this hole.
Vu carries the USA to the threshold of success, and surely Thornbury will get them over the line. The pretty par 3 16th could witness the decisive moment. At the minimum, Thornbury's par all but guaranteed. Nillen has got no option but to flag hunt. Directly over the flag, and under the circumstances, to be applauded. But he must make, Thornbury must miss.
And you have to believe the end really is near, as Uriel now strikes her second shot to the 17th, 2 up on Panthong. But a slight misjudgment provides just a faint ray of hope for the tie to keep the contest alive, but Nilheim must roll in his birdie putt on the 16th to do the same. Cruelly robbed. The game is up, and the Swede concedes, and Thornbury does win 3-2. As a consequence, the cup is officially retained.
Yeah, I played well today, and you know, Frederick's he's a great player, and we enjoyed it out there. But you know, it feels good to be able to come out on top. Team golf is really cool because you don't get to do it that often, and especially a backdrop like this in France and Evian Golf Club, it's been really special.
Which now leaves Uriel on the verge of delivering the winning point. Yeah, decent effort from a tricky lie down below the penultimate green, but that definitely doesn't qualify as a gimme.
The majority of the American team and captain Ryan Hibble are right there for the moment of celebration, but Panthong could delay it with a birdie.
So over to Uriel, 4 feet away from a personal and, more importantly, team triumph.
Hear the cheer. Uriel wins 2-1. The Razorback brings back the cup.
It's crazy how it all comes down to one putt in the very end, and I'm really glad that I could pull through for my team today, and it's just such a privilege and an honor to be able to bring it home.
In the end, it proved a resounding victory for the USA. Emilia Migliaccio beat Chloe Ryan 2-1 to become the only player to boast a 4-0 record. Kristen Gilman was impressive in beating Wenyang Kei 4-3, but fueled by pride, one international refused to yield.
Having been 4 up through 12, Albain Valenzuela was taken to the final hole by Lauren Stevenson, but coolly got up and down from the sand to preserve her hard-fought 1-up win. The final singles followed suit in going all the way, and Dylan Kim, never headed by Enhara Alara, knew a birdie on the par 5 ninth would secure the point. Her teammates approved, but could the dominant USA notch one more success? Yeah, it's centre cup and prompts a green invasion as the final score reads Team USA 38.5, the internationals 21.5.
Voted by her peers, Kim was selected for the Arnold Palmer Legacy Award and a wildcard to play in this year's Evian Championship, a ladies' major. Justin Sir received the male award and a place in next year's Arnold Palmer Invitational, presented by MasterCard. This, though, was the epitome of a team effort that pleased a proud captain.
They were very good today. We didn't lose very many matches. For the most part, everybody was in the game the entire day. And I just saw very good shot after very good shot, putt after putt get made. And they all wanted to go out and produce today. Yeah, it was an amazing week. Our team did such a great job all week long. We knew we had a great squad, but you know the international team is so loaded as well, and our kids just went out and did a great job today. And you know, singles is where you can make up a lot of ground. We knew that. You know, 24 possible points, and our team really stepped up today.
The essence of Arnie permeated the whole occasion, with graciousness the abiding theme.
The Americans, from day one, they were firing on all cylinders, and these are the best players in the world. I think on the women's side, with 5 of the top 7 in the world, and they showed it. I mean, they don't miss much, and when they do, you have to make the most of it, and we weren't able to do that.
Fittingly, a multiple major champion, like Mr. Palmer, Annika Sorenstam presented the trophy to the joint American skippers, Hessian and Hibble. Yes, under clear blue skies in Evian, red was the prevailing colour, American red, as the Arnold Palmer Cup returned to the USA.